All right, let's switch gears to the National League now. The Brewers getting a big win against the Reds. They moved to 2 games behind the Rockies now. Here are the matchups for their next 3 games, their last 3 games, both teams facing division foes. The Rockies playing the Dodgers. The Brewers are playing the Cardinals in St. Louis. Which team do you think wins the final wild card spot here?
I think it is the Rockies. I know the Cardinals were officially eliminated today, and that might look for a little bit of a different lineup card for Mike Matheny over the weekend than if they were still in it. They got the 2-game lead. We've been talking about this all week, Tim. I just think even though Colorado was limped to the finish line a little bit, they've got the head start. And that finish line only 3 days away. I expect them. It might get interesting. We might get down to a game here, but I still think it is the Rockies that outlast the Brewers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think the Rockies get into the playoffs, but if it does get down to that 1 game, now all the pressure's on Colorado. Because Milwaukee has the lowest payroll in all of baseball.
Right.
They weren't expected to be here. Then Jimmy Nelson, the plethora of injuries. I mean, they have had an outstanding year. I think they've been maybe the biggest story in all of baseball, maybe even the biggest in some eyes. I know probably the Indians' winning streak is probably the best storyline all season long. But I do think it's going to end up being Colorado just because of that. Once again, you got a 2-game lead where we're just running out of time right now.
2 games with 3 games left. It's just too much, I think. It could happen. It will be very fascinating. Just the base, because I don't have a dog in the fight. I think it would be very fascinating if the Brewers win tomorrow and the Rockies lose, just to put that extra little bit of pressure on Saturday and Sunday. That would be very fascinating. But I think it is the Rockies that outlast. And now, if we get a 1-game playoff here, it'd be interesting because I think the way Kyle Davies has pitched, and even without Jimmy Nelson, the Brewers might be favored in that game.
Probably so.
If they had to go head up for 1 game.
I find myself rooting for them because they've had just such an outstanding
You're right.
year.
It's been a great story.
And now, you've come to this point. So maybe we'll get some drama here in the second wild card spot. Thank goodness for the second wild card spot because the first wild card spot in both leagues.
Yeah. The Yankees weren't always clear, but they've been very comfortably clear. The Diamondbacks have been clear of the pack for months, it seems.
So we weren't sure if the wild card was going to work out, and then extended it to 2 games, and I think it's created some late season drama because there hasn't been much drama in those division races.
Yeah, I think it's going to be stuff that we're all watching, obviously, closely as the regular season wraps.